Hey guys, it's Nancy, and I wanted to bring you an interview that I did with Isabell Werth some years ago. I think it's still pertinent today, and it's been on my blog for a while, but I know it's easier to listen to things than to sit down and read. So I thought I would read it for you. And I want to start by thanking Isabell so much for her time and for her honesty in the interview. So my first question was, if someone was to come and work with you, a student or a working student, what would you say the most important trait that they need to bring with them? And Isabell said, the patience for horses, the patience and love for horses. Without this, it makes no sense to want a life with horses. There are no clear times. It is 7 days a week when you are responsible for an animal. And I can't teach someone who is not patient and looks at the watch and it's time to go. To be in this job, it means to be more idealistic rather than professional. So my next question was, do you have practices that help you stay balanced? Exercise, meditating, yoga, or anything like this? And she said, no, there is no time. The whole time I am in the stable normally, I think about what I need to do and around about the horses. I was growing up at Dr. Schottenbaumer's place, and he was a strong mentor and a strong trainer. So there was no special mentor training. And 20 years ago, there was no idea of mental training. It was more that you are here and you do, and there is no question. You love and are patient, and you are doing it. It was a big dream of mine as a little child to work with horses. So I looked around and stole with my eyes what I could from other riders, and I was breathing this in. This is what makes the difference between good or better. So I said, beautiful. Which horse would you say has taught you the most about horses? And Isabell said Satchmo was the first one. He was the first one that taught me and educated me in a different way than all of the horses before. I had a really lucky situation to get after Weingard and Fabian, which are the horses that brought me into the sport, to get Gigolo. Gigolo was so clear-minded and so positive, so strong in his mind in a positive way. He was not much of an athlete, but there were never any problems at all around him. I could clearly concentrate on the competition, and he was always there. Then with Satchmo, I learned all the problems I could have without getting a solution in a month or even 6 months. It was really difficult. Sleepless nights about how I could find a solution and how I could do it better. And the most important, he really taught me to listen. So I asked, which horses do you think have benefited the most from what you learned from Satchmo? And she said, all the horses that came after, all horses that have come after Satchmo, because I now have a different perspective, which is so beautiful. Is there a favorite test for you? Any horse, any level that stands out for you as a favorite? And she asked, which did I mean? Like a test that she really likes to do, or the test that she's ridden? And one I wanted to know about one that she's competed. Any horse that stands out, the feeling or the way she experienced the test, one that stands out that she really loved. So she said, it's not one test. I really love to sit on the young ones and to bring them up, but I'm also a fighter for the special. because there is no other competition with such a clear comparison and such a high level competition where there are changes between the forward and extensions and the collections. This makes it really difficult. And when it works, it gives you the feeling that you can fly. Of course, the freestyle, when you have the music and the horses, also gives you a very special feeling. You feel the atmosphere and you feel the music is carrying the horse and yourself, and the crowd is as well. That atmosphere touches you. There is no question. So I said, I think that watching you compete, you are one of the only people that you can really see it on your face when everything is working. You show so much happiness and joy when the horse is working with you. You can really see it when the horse is with you. How is it possible for you to be so present? How can you just be there with the horse in the moment and not think about the surroundings? Doing a fabulous test and yet not noticing anything else around. How do you create that for yourself? So Isabell said it is when it comes as one unit. It does not work out all the time, but when you have the situation that you are really feeling that you are one unit with the horse and that it goes in the right way, you forget the rest. But this is the big advantage in our sport. You have an animal, you have a partner and a partnership to the horse where you can forget the rest of the world. You know? Then you are in your own world. You are in a communication with the horse where there is no space for others. I think that is the reason why you focus together. Like when you are really in a conversation with a human and you forget all the rest around. It is the same with the horse. And of course, I asked her, how do you teach that? Do you teach this to your students? And she said she can't teach it. You just can't teach that. This is there or not. It is a question of patience of the person, and you can teach a lot of things, but you can't teach patience. You can show it, you can live it, but you can't teach it. You can teach discipline and you can teach responsibility, something like this, but at the end, to have the true responsibility to the horses, to have really the patience, you cannot teach this. It is there or it is not. You wake up on Sunday and morning because you love to go to the stable, or you say, no, I don't want it. So I really loved that. And then I asked her about the way the sport is going now. And if the way the competitions are developing, what do we need to do as participants in the sport to keep it going in the right direction, to keep the horses as the most important part? And I think that this is why I brought this up again, is because of what's going on in our environment these days. And how do we keep the horses as the most important part? So Isabell says it is always difficult to keep the balance. On one hand, we need some special things, the commercial parts of the sport. It is a business where a lot of people make a living from it. We need show and the show character. All of this on the side. We must not forget the horse. A horse is a horse, and we must take care of this. All of us can make mistakes during the time with horses, educating the horses and the children. No one can say that they did not make mistakes. No one can say that they are always perfect. I'm always fair, or I do not punish, or I never have a bad day. No one can say that the horses won't feel it. Everyone feels it. This is human. We should not put on Facebook or whatever that we are all doing every day the right way. And we should not post all the fakes. This is really the problem. It is not the truth of most of the time what is posted. The photos are through a filter or with the stuff you can do to them. There are good days and there are bad days. We should be allowed to ask for top performances. We sit on a horse. This is allowed. We would like the show to show the best we can from ourselves and from our horses. We do competition, performance. It means expectations. It means success or no success and disappointment. This all around we should show in an honest way. There is a part of us that says, I would like to sit on a horse without a saddle and go to the field. And this is nice. Okay, leave it. Leave this part for these people and leave the performance also. Accept where we are going and what we are doing. This is the challenge for the next 10 years. We will have to work to be able to compete and to stay on our horses. And I asked her next and her program at home. How do you keep the horses happy so they want to come to the ring every day, come to the shows? Do you have other things that you do with them to create this partnership? And she said, our whole team is busy every day to be around the horses and to keep them as happy as possible. We also have days where 5 people are sick and we have to rush to do our work, and we cannot always take the time we should take. So this is a daily choice. At the end, I have to go by myself. Now I need the time. I have to prepare myself and see how my horse is. If I lost the partnership, I have to get a new feeling. I have to feel how he is with all the work around. Or see myself and take him to the paddock to see how he behaves. This is all part of the sport also, but most of the riders do not think about it, and they do not have time to do it. I need to take time. This is a mixture of everything. You cannot teach it. You have to live this or you can't do it. So again, for anybody who knows me, this is so special to me, and so special that that's what she believes, and you can really see it in her success and her horses. But my last question is, how do you want to change the sport? What mark do you want to leave on these kids, the up and coming generation? And she said, I am an idol for a lot of young riders because of the medals. This is one part. Of course, I have a lot of medals and this is nice, but I really want to be an idol for my patience, for my partnership with the horse. I go through the ups and downs because I believe in what the horse can do. This is worth more than the medals. The medals are just the result of this. So this was, for me, a really beautiful conversation. And Isabell is so generous with her time and with her explanation of her heart in the horses. It was really a highlight for me. And also just watching her compete and watching her still bringing out such wonderful partnerships after many years. And I wish her much more success, and that everybody really watches and learns from her. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.